Hi. This is CrexView, your best choice for movie entertainment. Please subscribe, like, and put on your notification. Here's a summary of the movie, Enough. Slim is a hardworking waitress at a diner who is considering returning to school as soon as she can afford it. Ginny is Slim's best friend who works at the same diner. A typical day at the diner is hectic, with both girls trying not to mix up orders while keeping cheerful and making small talk. One day, Slim finds herself serving a customer who turns out to be interested in her. As she starts to warm up to the guy, another customer turns around to confront her suitor, claiming he had a bet with someone that he would get her into bed in no time. The stranger scurries away after that, leaving Slim grateful to her rescuer. The next scene shows Slim getting married to Mitch, the man who rescued her from the rascal. The couple settle down to happily ever after. Soon, Slim and Mitch have a baby girl, Gracie, and Slim dedicates her time being a housewife and taking care of Gracie and Mitch. Few years later, Slim discovers that Mitch is having an affair, and when she confronts him, he beats her up. She approaches Mitch's mother, who thinks that she may have provoked him into having an affair. She decides to disclose it to her best friend Ginny, who tries to convince her to go to the police. After much deliberation, Slim decides to give it a try by going to the police, but gets the greatest shock of her life when she realizes that even the police can't help her either. With the help of her friends, Ginny and Phil, she attempts to escape, but her plan is foiled by Mitch, who beats her up and kicks her around until her friends come to rescue her. Eventually, they escape and Slim tries to get a room for herself and Gracie in a hotel, only to discover that Mitch has frozen her account, leaving her with nothing. She manages to get a room at a cheap motel, but Mitch finds her, and she is able to escape with Gracie, and goes to Seattle to be with Joe, a former boyfriend. Mitch sends some henchmen, posing as FBI, to Joe's apartment, and when their mission of finding Slim and Gracie fails, they damage Joe's apartment. Having no one else to turn to, Slim goes to her dad Jupiter, who has ignored her since she was a child, and still does not accept that she is his. Slim walks away in anger, and finally moves in with friends of Phil, her former employer. A while later, Jupiter reaches out to her with a large chunk of money and a message that he's willing to help her if she needs him. It turns out Mitch and his henchmen paid him a visit. With Jupiter's money, Slim gets a house and a new identity for both of them and decides to call Mitch so he can speak with his daughter. Mitch traces the call and discovers where she's living. He asks his friend Robbie to help. Remember Robbie? That's the guy at the diner, the first time Mitch and Slim met. That was a setup. Robbie agrees to go and look for Slim and arrives same day as Joe, who is visiting at Slim's invitation. After Joe is gone, Mitch shows up and once again, Slim is on the run. She consults a lawyer, Mr. Toller, who tells her there's nothing much the law can do. Slim decides to take matters into her hands. She sends Gracie away on a holiday with Ginny, and starts training in self-defense. When she is convinced she's ready, she haunts down Mitch's whereabouts with the help of Jupiter. She breaks into his new apartment, hides his guns, jams his phone so that there will be no frequency, and places letters in the apartment, saying that she's coming to discuss the custody of Gracie. She sits back and waits. Soon, Mitch returns. She provokes him into a fight. This surprises Mitch, and soon they both fight. Slim beats Mitch and knocks him off the balcony, and he dies. The police arrive at the scene and conclude that it's self-defense. Slim reunites with Gracie, and they move to Seattle to live with Joe. Thank you for spending time with us on CrexView. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and put on your notification. This is CrexView.